Hello students, greetings from Indore Public School. In the last class, we have discussed about the menstrual cycle. So let us move on with the chapter. Today we are going to talk about fertilization and implantation. So after the sperms are released into the female vagina during the copulation, during the process of intercourse. So the sperms, as we know, they move rapidly, right? They pass through the cervix and they enter the uterus, right? When we were discussing the structure of female reproductive system at that time, we have discussed the parts of the fallopian tube, if you remember, right? So the fertilization occurs at the ampullary ischemic junction, fine? So if the sperms and the ovum reach the place at the same time, fertilization may occur. Fine. Fertilization, we know it is a fusion of a sperm and ovum. Right. Now, how does this occur? So, when sperms come in contact with the outer wall of the ovum, that is zona pellucida, right? As we know, after the ovum is released, it is still covered by cells of corona radiata as well as zona pellucida, right? So sperms, when they come in contact with the zona pellucida, they they induce certain changes in the membrane, and these changes will stop the entry of other sperms, right? So after these changes are brought about, fine, by the contact of the sperm with the membrane will block the entry of the other sperm. So only one sperm can fertilize the ovum, right? Now we know that the sperm head, that is the acrosome, it consists of lytic enzymes. Okay, so these lytic enzymes will will break down the zona pellucida, right? And this will help the sperm nucleus to enter into the cytoplasm, right? As the sperm nucleus enters the cytoplasm of the ovum, it will trigger the completion of the second meiotic division. Fine, we have already discussed that at the time of ovulation, the ovum is in the stage of secondary oocyte, right? Secondary oocyte is haploid and it is at the stage of metaphase 2, right? Metaphase 2 stage is arrested. So after the sperm enters into the ovum, the completion of the metaphase 2 stage is triggered, right? So as the metaphase 2 is takes place, metaphase 2 is completed, it forms, again it is an unequal division, right, in which the ovum will be formed, ovum or ooted, which will have almost all the cytoplasm, and a small second polar body will be formed. Fine. Now, this, as soon as the ovum is formed, the nucleus of the sperm and the ovum will fuse and it will form the zygote. It is at this stage that the sex of the baby is determined, right? This is something you have already studied, okay? Determination of sex, right? It will depend upon the chromosomal makeup of the sperm, right? As we know that males are heterogametic. They produce two types of sperms. 50% of the sperms contain X chromosome, whereas 50% of the sperms contain Y chromosome. Now it will depend upon which sperm is participating in the process of fertilization. If the sperm containing X chromosome fertilizes the ovum, it will form a girl, the female child will be produced, will be formed, and if the sperm containing Y chromosome will fertilize, a male child will be produced, right? So, at this stage, the sex of the child will be determined, fine? Okay. Now, let us move on. Yes. So, in this diagram, you can see how the sperm enters into the ovum, right? As the sperm comes in contact with the zona pellucida, it creates changes so that other sperms now cannot enter, right? Now, after it enters the nucleus, the acrosome releases the enzyme, and these enzymes dissolve the zona pellucida, right? As a result, the sperm nucleus enters into the cytoplasm of the ovum. Fine? Okay. Now, after fertilization, what all changes occur? Right, in this diagram, you can see the site of fertilization. Fertilization occurs at ampullary isthmic junction. Right, now from here, as the zygote will start moving towards the uterus, right, it will start dividing. Right, divisions will start. Fine. You can see the zygote dividing. It comes to 2-cell stage, 4-cell stage, 8-cell stage, right? It forms a morula. Morula is 8 to 16 cell stage of embryo, right? Then embryo in the morula, the cells will be adjusted into two layers, right? The outer layer is called the trophoblast, and the inner layer, towards one end, there will be a inner cell mass, right? And in this state is known as blastocyst. In this state, it will be implanted in the uterus. It will get attached to the wall of the uterus. Okay, so the cleavage takes place, right, after the fertilization. The first cleavage occurs in the 36 hours, right, and it continuously divides. First it forms 2 cells, then both the cells further divide by another transverse division, 4 cells, then 8 cells, and then 16 cells. Each of these cells are known as blastomeres, right? Now, these 8 to 16 blastomere stage is called morula, as I have told you. Fine. Now, it forms a hollow ball-like structure. This hollow ball-like structure, this will happen after further divisions, right? So, hollow ball-like structure is formed, which is called blastocyst, and two layers. The cells will be arranged in two layers. The outer layer is known as a trophoblast, and inner to it there will be a mass of cells on one side, which is known as the inner cell mass, right? The cells are known as blastomeres, right? And this stage is called blastocyst. Fine. Now, let me tell you, the size of the zygote as well as blastocyst remains the same, right? As it will divide, as it will convert, as the cleavage will occur, morula stage will come and blastocyst stage will come. It will travel towards the uterus, and after it forms a blastocyst, implantation will occur, right? The trophoblast, the cells of the trophoblast will help it to attach to the endometrium. Endometrium is the inner wall of the uterus, as you know, right? And as it gets attached to the inner wall of the uterus, more layers of the endometrium, they surround the blastocyst, right? So this process is known as implantation. Okay, here you can see implantation taking place. Fine. The fusion occurs, then it will start dividing. It will form morula, then it will form the blastocyst, and in this state it gets fixed to the wall of the uterus. Fine. Okay. Now, let us talk about the embryonic development. After the implantation occurs, the cells of the trophoblast, they form finger-like projections. These finger-like projections are known as chorionic villi, right? So, what is chorionic villi? जो trophoblast के cells होते हैं, they form finger-like projections, and these finger-like projections, they form the chorionic villi, right? Now, this villi gets surrounded by maternal blood in the uterine tissues, right? And the uterine tissue and the villi, they get interdigitate, right? they will get entangled with one another, and this structure will form a structural and functional unit. It will form a connection between the fetus and the mother, right? And this structural and functional unit which forms a connection between the fetus and the mother, it is known as placenta, right? So, should understand that the cells of the trophoblast, they will form the villi-like structure, the finger-like projections, which are known as chorionic villi. I have already told you that wherever we see villi, its main function is to increase the surface area, right? Now, whatever material are there in the mother's blood, like food and oxygen, right? They will pass to the embryo, right? And the waste material, the carbon dioxide, will pass from the embryo into the maternal blood, and this exchange will occur from the surface, right? So how villi will help? They will increase the surface area. Okay, so this structural and functional unit between the mother and the fetus is known as placenta. Uh, After the placenta is formed, the inner cell mass, gets um, it further divides, right, and it forms the three germ layers. This process is known as gastrulation, right? We will talk more about it. First, let us discuss about the functions of placenta. I have already, like I told you just now, that placenta, the basic primary function of placenta, it forms a connection between the mother and the growing fetus, right? So all the exchange of materials, okay, occurs through all the exchange of materials occur through this placenta. Okay, the exchange of materials like nutrition from the mother passes on to the fetus, oxygen goes to the fetus. Okay, exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide occurs through it, then excretion. Okay, nitrogenous waste like urea, it passes on into the maternal blood. Fine. Now, placenta is also an endocrine gland as it releases many hormones. Fine. Hormones like estrogen, progesterone, human chorionic gonadotropin, and human placental lactogen are certain hormones which are released by placenta. Estrogen and progesterone are also released by the ovary, but HCG, that is human chorionic gonadotropin, and human placental lactogen, they are released by placenta. Fine. At this time, let me tell you, uh, you must have heard about various pregnancy kits, right? These kits, they indicate pregnancy by showing a line. Fine. Now, this actually tests the presence of HCG, right? It actually tests the presence of HCG in urine, that is human chorionic gonadotropin. So this hormone is meant for maintenance of pregnancy, and formed, since it is released only after pregnancy, right? So this hormone is tested during the test of pregnancy. Okay, fine. Now, placenta also passes on the antibodies from the maternal blood to the fetus so that the fetus gets some immunity. Okay. Then placenta stores the glycogen and acts as a storage organ to give nourishment to the fetus till liver is formed. Fine. Also, it acts as a barrier for, and it does not allow the passage of toxic chemicals and germs into the fetus, right? So these are the functions of placenta. You can see here the implanted fetus, okay, in the mother, right? You can see the chorionic villi, right, and how it is interdigitate with the uterine tissue. Fine. Now, changes during pregnancy. We know just now, I have told you about certain hormones, HCG and HPL, which is released by placenta. Besides this, another hormone, relaxin, is released by the ovary. This release takes place during the later stages of pregnancy, and this hormone is very, very important as it relaxes the pelvic muscles, right? Pelvic muscles are relaxed and it helps in the childbirth, right? So this hormone is released during the later stages of the pregnancy. So HCG, HPL and relaxin are some hormones which are released in a female only during pregnancy, right? Other hormones like estrogen, progesterone, cortisol, prolactin, thyroxine, these hormones are released at other times also, fine, but their release is increased many folds during pregnancy in a mother, right? All these hormones are meant for supporting the fetal growth and for the maintenance of pregnancy. Okay, fine. Now, after implantation, the inner cell mass, it differentiates into three germ layers, right? Ectoderm, endoderm and the mesoderm, right? And these ectoderm, endoderm and mesoderm, they form different organs in our body. Fine, this is step, as I have told you, is known as gastrulation. Fine, the cells of inner cell mass has a property of totipotency. They have the stem cells. The stem cells have the property of totipotency, means they can give rise to all the different types of tissues and organs. Fine? Okay. The gestation period in human is 9 months, and these 9 months are divided into 3 trimesters. Each trimester, which consists of 3 months, right? So first trimester is first 3 months, the second trimester ends after 6 months, and the third trimester ends after the 9 months, right? Now, let us talk about the embryonic development. Now, as we have discussed, gastrulation is the development of the three germ layers, right? So, the embryonic development, if we talk about stages, the first is the cleavage, in which the zygote starts dividing into 2 cell, 4 cell, 8 cell and 16 cell stage. This stage is known as morula. So, second stage is a morula, the third is a blastocyst, and the fourth is a gastrulation, right? So these are the different stages of the embryonic development. During gastrulation, the inner cell mass, it forms a three germ layers, ectoderm, endoderm and mesoderm, and these three germ layers form different organs of the body, right? In the first month itself, the heart is formed. So heartbeat can be heard after the completion of the first month, right? Now, it can also be the first indication of life, right? Okay. Now, in the second month, the limbs and the digits, okay, and by the end of the first trimester, that is 12 weeks, that is first 3 months, all the major organs, limbs as well as the external genitalia are formed, right? Now, after the um, during the fifth month, the movements can be felt, okay, and here and head can be seen. Here and head are formed, fine. Then after the second trimester, fine, here eyelids are formed, the eyelids separate and eyelashes are formed. And after the 9 month, after the second trimester is done, the baby starts growing, and after the end of the 9 months, the fetus is fully developed and it is ready to be delivered. Parturition. Parturition is a process by which it is the end of the gestation period, and during this period, after this, after the 9 months is complete, the baby is delivered. Right? This process of delivery of baby is known as parturition. Right? Now, we have discussed. We already know about different layers in the uterus. The outer layer is the perimetrium, then myometrium, and the inner one is endometrium, right? So this myometrium is the muscular layer, and the contractions in this layer, muscular contractions in myometrium results in the parturition, results in the delivery of the baby, right? Okay. So first signal of parturition is originated from the fully developed fetus. Okay, so after the fetus is fully developed, the first signal is originated from the placenta. Fine. So placenta induces mild contraction of uterus. These mild contractions are known as fetal ejection reflex. Okay. Now, this fetal ejection reflex is a sign for release of the hormones, right? Uh, so, more amount of uh, adrenaline hormone is released, which stimulates the release of oxytocin hormone. Oxytocin is released from the pituitary gland. So, oxytocin is responsible for forceful contractions of the uterus. Fine. And these contractions, and as the contractions start, these contractions lead to further stronger contractions, right? So we can say that it is just like a feedback mechanism, right? one uh, one starting of the event leads to the next, right? So parturition starts with as the fetus gets fully developed, right? It will lead to mild contractions which initiate from placenta. These mild contractions are known as fetal ejection reflex. Now these contractions will initiate the release of oxytocin hormone. This oxytocin will cause forceful contractions, and these forceful contractions which cause the labor pain, it will stimulate further secretion of oxytocin, which further increase the contractions till the cervix is dilated, okay, and the fetus is ejected out of the uterus, right? Now, after the fetus is delivered, the placenta is also expelled out of the uterus. Fine. Now, after the parturition, the baby is delivered, right? The mammary glands start producing the milk, okay, and this is known as lactation. The milk which is produced during the initial days of the lactation, it is called colostrum, right? These colostrum contains many antibodies, right? And it develops passive immunity in the baby, because when the baby is inside the mother's womb, it is in a highly protected area, right? And as soon as it is delivered, it comes in contact with many, microbes, right? Lots of hands touch the baby, and it is the air also brings out many microbes, right? So at this stage, baby needs lot of immunity. Fine. So the mother's milk, the initial days of mother's milk, it is called colostrum, which is yellowish and thick milk. Okay, and it is very rich in antibodies, and it provides passive immunity to the baby, right? So it is observed that the babies who breastfeed, they have a stronger immunity as compared to the children who are weaned from breast milk, right? So with this, we have come, we have ended this chapter, right? I'll produce you the notes, right? And also the worksheet. Fine, as I have told you beforehand also, you are supposed to paste these notes in your copy and then solve the back exercise of the chapter, and then you're supposed to solve the worksheet, right? So do all this work. Fine. In the next class, we will start with the next chapter. Fine. So goodbye till then. Stay at home.